I don't know if you're awake, woman, but I'm streaming. Hey, woman. Woman. Did you get something to thaw out? Okay, I was just making sure. You can go back to sleep now. I'm actually gonna open the door here. I want to finish my beer and open up. Anyway, sorry for the delay. Uh, doing something different. No more dungeons, no more raids, no more frustrations. And actually, bigger reason is I just don't have time to do dungeons. Even like Raging Chasm or whatever the fuck. I don't even have time to do that. That's like a 30-minute dungeon, if that. 15 minutes. Especially if you use the level skips. Just kidding. So here's what I'm doing. I'm pretty much done with my mage. Mage is done. Mage is level 60. I'm done with the mage. Basically, what I'm probably gonna do is all non-raid or non-raid exclusive bosses, I'm going to put them somewhere in the world. Raid exclusive, I mean bosses that rely on being inside that instance in order for the script to work. Otherwise, they either don't do anything at all, like Illidan, I think if you try to attack him, he just doesn't do anything. Or it crashes the server. So what I'm doing here is all bosses that I can put in the open world, I'm going to put them in the open world. That way I can still do quests for them. So the problem with not having dungeons is I'm pretty much just playing single player now, which sucks because the whole idea is to synergize your class with other classes, or at least that's some of the idea. So what I've done, I can't believe I didn't think of this sooner, honestly, probably because I was just so pissed off about not Nax. I increased the health and physical damage of normal mobs times 5. Spell damage by 2.5 because their spells hurt like a bitch. Elites health increased by 2.5, physical damage by 2.5, and spells by 2.5. And that includes rares. In exchange, since I will be in a group all the time now, XP is times 5 for kills, times 1 for quests. And I reserve the right from here going forward to increase the XP reward of any quest I desire. If it has like a low drop rate, I'm going to do that. And what else? I think that's it. So let's go ahead and test this out. I probably have like 3 levels of rested XP or some shit. Now, it would seem that bots are still having a hell of a time getting on. That's not terribly inconvenient, especially since I'm not doing raids anymore. They can take their sweet time. But let's test this out. Let's get... I'm a tank. So, let's get a Shadow Priest over here. Let's get a Holy Paladin over here. And since we're in Plague Lands, we can go ahead and do with a 59. And then I'll put in a 61. No, here we go, Hunter. Alright, I'm gonna summon these guys. Those changes are in effect right now. Here. Here is heal now? What? What? I'm confused. Anyway, let's go ahead and try this. I'm gonna try to keep aggro here, maybe. What's the best aggro spells? I keep forgetting. Probably this one. Holy Shield, definitely. I want to say Seal of Light and Seal of Righteousness are like the best ones. As you can see, he's taking a lot longer to kill. All mobs are basically dungeon mobs now. How do I taunt? 692 XP for that. Is that good? I don't even remember. Apologize for the stuttering. I think it's this. Fuck if I know. Or actually, you know what? I don't have my graphics card profile on, I don't think. Nope. My shit's about to overheat. Playing WoW. I actually don't even remember. What I was trying to do with these. I know it was on a quest. Man, that goes up a cunt here. But I'm pretty sure those are green to me. Yeah. This is for a quest. Let's go ahead and try out my idea. Except I'm not sure where I would even spawn these guys. Could probably spawn them over here, maybe. Or maybe just like over here. I don't know. Hold on. Actually, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I do. Um, Trying to think of a good place to spawn these dudes. Because this basically turns into an outdoor dungeon now. Let's put one of them in here, I think. Maybe the archivist? No. No. I know who's gonna go here. Actually pretty obvious who's gonna go here. Hmm. Oh, you know what? I kind of want to wipe the database. Because there's a whole lot of custom shit that I've done. Hold on. Let me dot save here. And I'm just gonna revert it. Mostly Blackrock deaths, I'm pretty sure.
Remember when pride was a sin? Although that is merely a factual statement, because under the old rules, applicable even a decade ago, pride.
Watching YouTube videos. Is it done? Looks like it's done. Alright. Server starting. Anyway. I know I keep finding reasons to restart the server whenever I stream, and I apologize for that, but this was a good reason. I assure you. I didn't notice this chest here before. Oh. Oh, you know who else we have to put out here too? Horseman. Hey Slim, how's it going? I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna put the horseman. I'm gonna put any of the Nox bosses, I have no idea. There's like a raid in a dungeon. I have to scatter around here. I'm not sure. Hold on. Let me look at this. I'm not sure if the horsemen actually drop or if it's just all in the chest. Let me check. No, they don't actually drop, I guess. What about High Lord? What's his comp? Does he drop? No, it's all in the chest. What just happened? Windows made it sound like something got unplugged or plugged back in. I don't know. Anyway, what the fuck? Oh, my headset wasn't plugged in all the way. Well, I got a new car. The catalytic converter on my Yaris was starting to go out, and then I hit a raccoon that I thought I could straddle because it was already dead, but its skull hit the brace on the bottom of my car and it bent it. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to go another winter, so I had to buy a new car. And also, it would seem that I'm going to be a dad. What is making that noise? It's this. Fuck that cord. Thank you. I'm not super excited. Apparently she's only 7 weeks. So I when you're 35, dude, you don't give your hopes up for anything. Like no, for nothing. When it comes out, I will react accordingly. But until then, anyway, you probably didn't hear me in the beginning, but I've decided that I'm no longer doing raids or dungeons. This is the short version of it. No longer doing raids or dungeons. I'm setting normal mobs to ×5 damage, HP, and 2.5 spell damage. Elites 2.5 across the board. Kill XP for everyone ×5. So the whole world is basically one big raid, but I'm not committed to anything, which is super nice. I will gradually be putting in dungeon bosses or raid bosses that are not script tied to their specific perspective raids or dungeons. I will be putting them in the world to be fought and looted. Any boss that is raid exclusive that I cannot fight, I will give his, her, or its items to another monster or mob, or whatever, to be dropped. So the issue I was having before of being able to do super late game raids with boss and not have it be lopsided one way or another is gone. And I also am going to reserve the right to edit anything I want when I want. It's pretty much a for fun thing now. I got my level 60 on my mage. I'm retiring my mage, by the way. So the next time I play vanilla, it will be with a new character. So now I'm on Burning Crusade and doing it that way. Anyway, I'm not gonna go around spawning all the bosses right now. That would take forever. I don't have time for that. Let me just figure out where I want to put the archivist. Somebody else could go in here, but not the archivist. Honestly, he could go... He can actually go just about anywhere. What about over here? Oh, no, that's a friendly area. What about over here? There's a mill. I'm thinking here. I want him to be with some books, because he archives stuff. Let me find some books. Bio tutors. That sounds like some people that would hang out with a fucking archivist. Or as I used to say when I was 10, archivist. Ready way in here? There is. What's in here? Books. I have to see books. Oh, fuck you too. I'm putting them in here. Oh wait, he's not undead though. So lore-wise, he wouldn't be in here. He would actually be... There's only one place. I've actually never been in there, I don't think. I've never been over here either. So I kind of wonder if he would be a... if he's a world boss. I'm not actually sure. Oh, it looks like he is, according to this. Maybe, you know what? Rare elites I'm gonna leave alone, I think. I'm gonna put those back to 1. And then I'm gonna restart the server. Again. Because that's my favorite thing to do on this channel, is restart the server. Let me go ahead and go back where I was first. What other bosses do I need? I need the deeds. Where can I put the deeds? I'll restart the server after I'm done here. I need to put the deeds somewhere. The dirty deeds. I could put them here, I could put them here. I think I'll put them here. Put them on this table. Or at least one. I'm doing pretty good, Darren. I got a new car. My wife's pregnant. I already told the story like twice, so I'm just telling the short version now. I apologize. Object should be add, right? No, it's a B object or do object. No, B object. The fuck is it? Yeah, I my catalytic converter was going out in my old car, and I hit a raccoon that I thought I could straddle. It was dead, and a skull bent the chassis bar that goes like across on the bottom. So she was done. I could have sworn it was do object. Hold on. Where the fuck is it? So sick of this oh, it's go object. Go object add. Boom. We got ourselves a deed. I'm also remaking this game a little bit to where I don't even have to do raids or dungeons because I'm tired of scaling them and I'm tired of using massive amounts of time to do them.
Days later.
Anywhere where there's a table, I'm gonna put a deed. It doesn't matter.
Didn't it take you like 2 days on the last raid that you were doing before you finally gave up?
I never even really did it, honestly, so maybe. I don't know.
I just remember you messing with it and then just kind of giving up. You're like, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah, I was just sick of it.
Oh, Michael's in now.
I mean, it's fun and all, but like, if you just increase the mob damage and HP and shit in the open world, and increase the XP you get from them, it's honestly just as good as raiding. And you can add all those bosses, except for the ones that are scripted to be in a raid, like mechanic wise. You can add them all to the open world. Like I'm putting in the deeds right here. I should probably just open these tabs. Shit, fuck, piss. Oh, by the way, Michael, how's it going? Kind of tired of using broken tables. Where's the other tables? Why must there only be one not broken table in this old town? It's kind of dumb. Just kidding, I don't really care. Oh, here we go. Here's a table. Not broken. Shit. By the way, sorry I've been inactive in your streams. I got a new job. I'm trying to get used to it. Oh, that's perfectly fine. I completely understand. Where do I put the last deed? Maybe I should put it up by the fountain so I have to fight what's his tits. Or you know what? No, I'm not putting it in here because I'm probably going to put a boss in here. Here we go. I'll put it on this bench. Has to be perfectly in the center, or I'm never going to play again. Cool. Now I can do that quest. Active agent. Urge data. Item. Contained in. Where could we put this one? Let's put it up my ass? No. Hmm. I kind of want to make sure it's places that I'll remember. Because I don't know if a quest helper is going to tell me where this is. Probably not. There's like nothing in here. Oh. That's cute. This is supposed to be the dungeon. Oh shit, I went around. Or no, there's an N over here I might be able to use. Again, I'm just doing the stuff that I have quests for and only the stuff I have quests for, because if I did everything right now, I'd be back with the same problem of having to edit everything nonstop and not being able to play the game. So, fuck that. I'm gonna put it right here. Okay, what else do I have? Oh, I have to burn his archive too. Maybe that's an object that you can interact with. It is. So in that case, well, hold on here. Let's see if plague hatchlings. Where can I put hatchlings? I'll put them in a cave somewhere, I think. I'll put them in that cave I've never been in before. It's like over here somewhere, yeah. And then once I'm done, I'm going to go back to this point, because that's where I was before I started doing this. Yep, there's a cave here. Oh, this is perfect. Who the fuck are you? I'm just gonna scatter them throughout this cave. And at the entrance, I think. I'm already lost. I blame my wife. She should have stopped and asked for directions. I'll put like 2 at the entrance here. This should actually be a tutorial video too, now that I think about it. Because how many people want to play this but don't have time, you know what I mean? Okay, so these are mobs. There's actually another place that they'd probably be better in. I'll put them here, just because I never come here for anything. There's no reason to come here for anything. And there's so many mobs, like this quest will be so hard. Oh, that's the quest. Not the mob. Oopsie daisy. This is gonna be so hard. Because it's just gonna chain aggro a whole bunch of shit. Wait, what's their spawns? It's probably 30 seconds. 25 seconds. Shit. Let me try. I think it's by seconds, so 120. What's everything else in here? Oh, well, that's... Hold on. $5 minutes and 15 seconds. So 5 times 60 would be 300. So 315 maybe? Perfect. That's what I like to see. Things working as intended. Wish I could say that about the rest of this shitty ass fucking project. Just kidding. Anyway, I really need to get another beer and open my door. But I kind of want to finish this first. Now, I don't really have to put 20 in here. But I can probably get close. This is looping back around. That's probably good enough. I'll put one here too. I like how much health they have because it's 5 times. Okay, that should be good. No, I need to go give that scumbag bitch his fucking encyclopedia or whatever. His trying to think of a weird fanfic that he could be reading. Can't think of one right now. Oh no, he's over here, that's right. See, if it makes sense, like lore-wise, kind of, maybe, I'll remember where I put them. That and, like, I'm sure most of you can, or pretty much everyone that plays WoW a lot will agree that we can pretty much name where any one NPC spawns in the whole game. Not like necessarily a normal one, that might be kind of hard, but like any elites or rares or bosses, we pretty much all know where they are. Except for me, because I don't know. I haven't spent much time with the late game shit, but if you ask me where early game stuff is, I probably know where it is. Because I'm not a bitch. There he is. Oh, look, we can put his book right here. Let's put it right on the corner of the table. That's just super. Oh, we might want to change his spawn time too. Let's change it to like everyone else. I got that. I got the hatchlings. I got the deeds. Not gonna worry about those. Not gonna worry about these. So actually, I think that's it. Alright, I am going to go back where I was. Bullshit. Bullshit. I would like to start drinking some beer, so that will be all the editing that I'm doing for right now, at least until I get on my death knight. Because I'm just gonna do these quests. Oh, I was trying to get cores of the elements from these mobs. That's what I was doing. I remember now. I already got 8 from them. Summon. Oops. Oh, it's because I have GM on. He's targeting the pig. Did he drop them? Well, he dropped for somebody. That would be an option that I would definitely be interested in turning on, is shared loot, basically. Everybody can loot something and we all get the same shit. I know that sounds hyper gay, because that's kind of what ruined WoW in the long run, but when you're playing with bots, it's not as gay as it sounds, because it's not like an actual person, and it's only gay if you're doing it with an actual person. If you're doing it with a bot, it's, I mean, it's perfectly acceptable, you know. Anyway, you stay laying down, I'll check the burger. Use the cat food. Leave the door open. Okay. Let's make our way downtown after we kill this. How much XP do I get from this? And it's green. Bear in mind it's green. Fucked him up. Oh, I still have to restart the server, huh? Hold on a second. Let me make sure I save those changes in the notepad. Yes, I did. Whatever. Restarting the server. Times increasing the multiplier on rares pretty much increases it on the non-world boss class dungeon bosses, and I don't want to do that because those are already designed with 5 people in mind. And some of them, I'm probably going to have to go back into Heidi SQL and nerf into the ground because I'm no longer doing 40-man anything. So actually, before I even restart this, I might just want to go through and nerf all the world boss rates into the ground. I think I'll do that. So, where are they? Here we go. World boss rates. 1 divided by 40 times 5. We'll do 0.02 across the board. That's 2%. So, for example, this will actually tell me if it's good. Let's go to AQ and click on Princess What's Her Cunt. Her health is 999,300 with 40 people. So 999,300 times 0.02. It comes down to 1998 and 19,986. Comes way the fuck down. It might be too much. I can increase it, perhaps, but for now, because they're probably still going to do a lot of damage. Oh, I should probably increase rares, too. Because there's rare elites and there's rares. Rares are basically normals, but maybe slightly better. Oh shit, yeah, it should be fucking 5 right here, actually. Okay, save. And restart the server. She's so precious. And to keep
really gotta be a supervisor now.
And to keep with tradition, is there like a YouTube video I can run in the background? Probably not. I could listen to the Trump interview. Oh, wait. Oh, no, he's not getting on. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'll listen to the Trump interview. I actually haven't heard it yet. And honestly, the only time I haven't or have time to listen to this shit is when I'm playing WoW. Oh, apparently, YouTube isn't putting it on their website.
Oh. Oh. We're on your new hot sauce now. We're on your new hot sauce
now. Wonderful. Like how you search Trump Tucker, all you get is all this fucking mainstream media bullshit. Let me try Yandex. Oh, look at that. Exactly what I wanted. I'm not using Brave browser or Brave search ever again.
Damn, why do you have so much shit?
This is what it looks like when you have no value system.
Oh, you're running wild.
We have metastasized these guys out of those positions.
This isn't the actual interview. What is this? Oh, maybe it is.
Fox News debate tonight in Milwaukee?
Well, you know, a lot of people have been asking me that, and many people said you shouldn't do them, but you see the polls have come out and
Only using Yandex
50
for
and
now
60
on.
points, and you know, some of them are at 1 and 0 and 2, and I'm saying, do I sit there for an hour or 2 hours, whatever it's going to be, and
I don't want to hit you too hard.
get harassed by people that shouldn't even be running for president?
You realize that it's been weeks
I don't care.
of you beating the piss out of me.
Frankly, you know, they were backing Ron DeSanctimonious.
Yeah, say that louder
They've given
so
up.
everybody,
It
people in the back can hear you.
It reminded me very much of 2016. In 2016, I went through the same stuff and had to fight them all the way. And
You know I'm
became very
talking about my
friendly after I
vagina.
won, or just about when I was winning. But I just felt it would be more appropriate not to do the debate. I don't think it's right to do it. If you're leading by 50, 60, I have one problem leading by 70 points, and I'm saying, why am I doing it? And I'm going to have 8 people, 10 people, whoever made the debate, I don't know how many it is, but I'm going to have all these people screaming at me, shouting questions at me, all of which I love answering, I love doing, but it doesn't make sense to do them. So I've taken a pass, as you probably noticed.
Well, I did. I'm grateful that you did. It's interesting, though, because you spent a lot of your career in television.
Yeah.
You were a top show in television on NBC. But you don't feel the need now running for president to do television, obviously. Do you think television is declining?
Well, according to a poll that I guess we just saw, it just came out where it's down like 30, 35%, but I think they were referring to cable. I think cable's down because it's lost credibility. MSNBC, or as they say, MSDNC, is so bad. It's so wrong what they write and what they do and what they say. It's, you know, it's fake news, as I said. I think I came up with that.
Wait,
term.
can I afford a new?
It's not tough enough anymore. It's corrupt news.
No.
You know, really, what you do is call corrupt
Definitely
news, but
not.
somehow that doesn't play as nicely, but it is corrupt news. So you have MSNBC and you have CNN, who's absolutely doing no ratings at all. I mean, they're dead.
Did I ever learn
But
more
they're doing none
spells?
because they don't have credibility. They really don't have credibility. Fox is way down, as you know. And
Hold on.
the good old days are long ago. I will say this.
I know I keep
it
saying
could
hold
come
on,
back,
but I
they
don't
have-
remember
just
if I
don't have a
trained
lot
who
of
spells or not.
credibility. Tucker, you know that perhaps better than anybody. I think it was a terrible move getting rid of you. You were #1 on television, and all of a sudden we're doing this interview, but we'll get bigger ratings using this crazy forum that you're using than probably the debate or competition.
When you say there are people on stage who shouldn't be running for president, who do you mean?
Well, I don't want to really use names, but it wouldn't matter too much. A guy like, I call him Ada Hutchinson. It's Asa, but I call him Ada.
Why do you call him Ada?
You know, I could tell you, but I don't want to get myself in a little trouble. But he's weak and pathetic, and he was, I never understood the guy, never knew him. He was the governor of Arkansas.
I was seeing an interview.
Not a very popular guy. I don't know how he, but that state is such a great state. The people are so incredible
5-4.
in that state, and they love me and I love them. How does this guy get elected governor of Arkansas? But he's
Okay, I think I
nasty
have him.
always and has been. A guy like Chris Christie, the guy left with a 8%, think of it, 8% approval rating in New Jersey.
Did I get any new spells?
And he runs solely on the basis, oh, let's get Trump. He's like a savage maniac. He's like a lunatic. And that's all he talks about. His poll numbers are very, very low. He's about 2%.
What's he like? You know him well.
No, I've been friendly with him over the years, but I couldn't give him a job because I just never trusted him very much. I was just never one of his people that really trusted him. I never gave him the job, and that's one of the reasons he feels so hurt and so betrayed. And I understand that. I really do. I understand it, but I never gave him. You know, he wanted to be different things. He was looking at different elements of the administration, and we decided. I decided just I didn't want to do it, and now I'm glad I did because you see. But you know, we had some great people. I had great people. We'll have even better people if we do this because now I know Washington. Before I didn't know Washington. But guys like Bill Barr were terrible. I mean, they were, I would say, Bushies. I say that with respect to the Bush family, but they were Bushies, and just it doesn't work out for us.
It was clear, this is kind of far afield, but it was just interesting. I read Barr's account of his time. He wrote a book about it, his autobiography. And
I forgot this was an instant cast anymore.
Clearly lies. Do Do you think Epstein killed himself sincerely?
I don't know. I will say that he was a fixture in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
This is so much better than doing a dungeon.
No idea what he said. What did he say? He killed himself, probably.
He said he killed himself and that they were going to do this investigation. They never did the investigation. It's never been public.
Well,
and they hid it, and like, why are they doing that? And clearly Barr knew. But why would Bill Barr be covering up the death of Jeffrey Epstein?
Bill Barr didn't do an investigation on the election fraud either, okay? He said he did, and he pretended he did, but he didn't. McSwain, the U.S. attorney in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, said Barr just wouldn't let him do it. It was crazy. Barr became so petrified, so frightened of being impeached. They were going to impeach him. I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah.
It's not a big moment in history. But they said, we're going to impeach. You know, they play a much rougher game, the left, the lunatics. And they were going to impeach Bill Barr, and he was petrified. Now, how do you not get impeached? Don't do any of this stuff. But he didn't do the job there. I don't know what he did with Epstein, but possibly he
Do you think it's possible that Epstein was killed?
Oh, sure, possible. I mean, I don't really believe. I think he probably committed suicide. He had a life with, beautiful homes and beautiful everything, and he all of a sudden he's incarcerated and not doing very well. I would say that he did. But there are those people, there are many people, I think you're one of them, right? But a lot of people think that he was killed. He knew a lot on a lot of people.
He was killed.
You think so?
I think the closer you look, I'm not a conspiracy person at all. I believe everything I hear. But yeah, the closer you look into it, the Attorney General of the United States, your Attorney General clearly lied about the Epstein death.
Yeah,
and
he was.
why?
He was certainly. It wasn't well done. They had no cameras. They had no anything. Everybody was sleeping. And, the case could be made. Look, I'm not going to get involved in it, but I can tell you, a case could be made either way. But it certainly wasn't the most well-run place.
So the reason I'm asking you is I'm looking at the trajectory since 2015 when you got into politics, for real, and then won. It started with protests against you, massive protests, organized protests by the left, and then it moved to impeachment twice, and now indictment. I mean, the next stage is violence. Are you worried that they're going to try and kill you? Why wouldn't they try and kill you? Honestly.
They're savage animals. They are people that are sick, really sick. You have great people in the Democrat Party. You have great people that are Democrats. Most of the people in our country are fantastic, and I'm representing everybody. I'm not just Republicans or conservatives. I represent everybody. I'm the president of everybody. But I've seen what they do. I've seen the lengths that they go to.
I forgot where my lay on hands is.
When that's exposed,
oh, there it is.
They go down, and Barr should have gone after them, and other people should have gone after. And they did very late, because the Durham report came out. It was fairly good. It could have been a lot tougher, I guess, but it was fairly good. But it explained how corrupt it was. I'll tell you who did a great job was the Inspector General Horowitz. He did a phenomenal report. You didn't have to go to Durham. He did it on Comey and on, I guess, McCabe and some others, and it was a vicious, it was basically a true report, how bad they are. But these people are sick people. These are people that I think they hate our country. You want to know the truth. When you see open borders, when you see these policies that they have, and so many other things, it's so sad to see. We have a country that's very fragile right now. I've never seen, I will say, look,
this might be a little too hard.
Which was 15, but I ran in 16, election in 16, and there was tremendous spirit. In 20, there was even more spirit. We got millions and millions more votes. It wasn't even a contest. People said, well, what do you think of 20? I said, we did much better. We did. You got to base it on the number of votes. We got many more votes in 20 than we did in 16. But the election was rigged. It was a rigged election. And with COVID, they used COVID to cheat in a lot of different things, and we have so much on it. It's like so easy. But we had judges that didn't want to look. We had people that didn't want to get involved. They called you, she's a conspiracy theorist if you say anything about the election. But I have never seen spirit like there is right now. Even coming down here, just the people on the road that are just absolutely going crazy. And the reason is, I think they like me, and I know they love my policies. I hope they like me too. A lot of people say they don't like me, but they like my policies. I think they like me. But I have never seen spirit like it is right now. And the reason is because crooked Joe Biden is so bad. He's the worst president in the history of our country. I don't think he's going to make it to the gate, but you never know. But he's a corrupt person, so corrupt that I took the name off Hillary. I don't do two people at one time. I took the crooked Hillary and I retired the name. That was a good day for her. I bet she was very happy. And I used it for Joe because it's crooked Joe. But Joe is really...
But you don't think he's going to make it to November of 2024?
Well, I think he's worse mentally than he is physically. And physically, he's not exactly a triathlete or any kind of an athlete. You look at him, he can't walk to the helicopter. He walks, he can't lift his feet out of the grass. It's only 2 inches at the White House, right? That's not a lot. But you watch him, and it looks like he's walking on toothpicks. So, and then you see him on the beach where he can't lift a chair. Those chairs are meant to be light, right? They're like 2 ounces.
Yeah.
You lift them up. He can't lift the chair. He can't walk to the chair. And I don't know what they're doing with the beach. This beach is seeming to play a big role.
I'm gonna have to release.
They love
anyway.
pictures of him on the beach. I think he looks terrible on the beach. Looks terrible on the beach.
Skinny legs.
Well, he can't walk through the sand. Sand is not that easy to walk through. But when he walks through it, he can't walk through the sand. And there's somebody in there that thinks he looks fabulous at the beach. I think he looks horrible at the beach. Plus, the beach doesn't represent what a president's supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be working. You're supposed to be getting us out of that horrible, horrible war that we're very much involved in with Russia and Ukraine. You could do that. You could do that very easily. I believe you could do that I don't believe he could do it because he's just incompetent. But that's a war that should end immediately, not because of one side or the other, because hundreds of thousands of people are being killed. Can you imagine you're in an apartment house and rockets are going into that building and blowing it up and knocking it down? And why should anybody, human beings, these are human, whether they're Russian or Ukrainian or whatever they are, it's got to be stopped. And it can be stopped very easily. It would have never started. If I were president, it would have never started.
So back to Biden, I'm interested. So you think he's failing? He obviously is failing. I think it's clear to everybody. But that would make Kamala Harris the candidate?
Well, not really. I mean, I guess they'd have maybe a free-for-all. A lot of people say she has to remain for certain reasons the candidate. She has to. I don't think that's true, actually. I don't think that other people would stand for it. She has some bad moments. Her moments are almost as bad as his. I think his are worse, actually.
Yeah.
But
She seems pretty senile, too.
she speaks in rhyme. It's weird. It's weird. But she has bad moments. And
In rhyme? What do you...
well, the way she talks, the bus will go here and then the bus will go there because that's what buses do. It's weird. The whole thing is weird. This is not a president of the United States future. And I think they probably have some kind of a primary and other people will get involved.
Newsom, right? I mean,
Could be. I mean, I got along well with him, believe it or not. But could be him, could be somebody else. He's got a big load on his shoulders because you look at California, what's happening. But I don't know if the American people really, the people that vote for him, I don't even know if they care. You look at so many of the things that are going on, and people don't seem to be. In the old days, if you had a bad record, it meant a lot. Today, if you have a bad record, it doesn't really mean anything. He looks good. He's a nice-looking guy, speaks well. But Biden, every time you watch him talking, it's like he's walking on eggs. You're waiting for him to collapse. And he almost always does. And I got to know the leaders of all of the countries, essentially, but the big ones. And the bigger, the tougher the leader. It's like
Yeah.
I guess maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. But I got to know President Xi of China, Putin, and Kim Jong-un.
I'm gonna have to decrease it a little bit.
Check this out, the nuclear war. We would have 40,000 dead.
Because they're green and they're fucking me.
Right on top of the military base. We have 40,000 soldiers. And I did great. I got along with him great. That's a positive. The press said, he said nice things about Kim Jong-un. I also said horrible things at the beginning. Horrible enough that he wanted to talk. And we talked and we met in Singapore. Met actually twice. And we had unbelievable news. I know him very well. We were in great shape with that.
What do you think he and Xi and Putin think of Biden?
I think they can't believe it. I think they probably say this is some kind of a system. They had great respect for our country. They respected me. They had great respect for our country when I was there. Every one of them. Look, If you go to North Korea, you take a look at what happened. You know, the Olympics was dead. South Korea spent billions on the Olympics. Nobody was going to go. They didn't want to get blown up. They called me and they said, we are going to let the Olympics proceed. This is North Korea. I said, you should go into the Olympics. Put your athletes in. It wasn't like, you know, they were big on athletes, but they said,
Famine.
but they went in and they actually participated. And within about 2 days, the entire thing was sold out. And if it wasn't me, that would have never happened. But I got along very well with him, and it's a positive thing. He does have massive nuclear power, by the way. And if Hillary would have gotten in, or if the Obama thought process continued, it would have been a nuclear war, absolutely, with North Korea. He was expecting to go into a war, and it would have been a nuclear war.
So do you think the rest of the world looks on at Biden and thinks someone else has got to be running the government?
Well, somebody else has to.
Hunter doesn't seem to be doing a whole hell of a
I
lot.
don't think he's capable of doing anything. Look,
I
when
see we still
debated
have
him,
this issue.
I said, how come?
Yeah, Hunter's
this
not
was in
doing
front of
anything.
Probably not a friend of yours, Chris Wallace. He was the moderator.
Not a friend.
I said,
Like,
"Well,
why
I
does
said,
this
why
why
is
does
he
this
wants to be
issue
Mike,
just
but he
keep
doesn't have the
happening
talent? It's one
all
of
the
those-
Bitchy
time?
little man.
He wanted to be his father, but he didn't have the talent of his father was great. His father,
Little fussy man.
his father interviewed me in 60 Minutes. It was actually a
there's
10.
some
Can you
traps.
believe it?
I totally.
I may
His
have got-
father had talent, at
No,
least.
I may have been the
There's
only guy that he gave
a
a
flare.
good 60 Minutes, so he was rough.
Really?
His father was tough. He was great, though. He was great at what he did. But Chris Wallace was so upset. He was guarding this guy, who wouldn't do a show, by the way. You know, he wouldn't. I figured I didn't mind Chris Wallace because he wouldn't do. Biden wouldn't do a show, and it was very obvious. You know, he kept asking him and asking, but he wouldn't do the show. So I figured he's got to like me. But he came from a different point.
Oh wait, you know, I
Remember
think I
when
see the
asked
problem
question, Why
here.
is it that the mayor of Moscow's wife is allowed to give you $3.5 million? Don't forget, that was brought up now. It's brought up all the time, but that was brought up by me long before anyone ever heard of it.
Sets a range,
So
but
the mayor of
she doesn't
Moscow's
have a
wife giving you
ranged
$3.5
weapon.
million. What did you do to
Let me
deserve
see.
$3.5 million? To Biden. And Chris Wallace said, this has nothing to do with the debate. I mean, he fought.
He got in the way of the question.
No, well, it was crazy. And I said, well, wait a minute. He got $3.5 million for the mayor of Moscow's wife. Now, people forget that, but if you go back and take a look, you will see. AndRis Wallace
Yeah,
didn't want
that's
me to
why.
ask that question. I said, I think it's a very
There's
appropriate
throwing
question.
axes, but I don't know if
It
the
turned
bots
out
know
be
how to
much
use
more
throwing
appropriate than
axes.
people thought.
So do you have a preference in, assuming you're the Republican nominee and all goes as you plan it to go, do you have a preference in who you run against?
In many ways, I'd love to run against him because his record's so bad. You know, it's still horrible when you look at inflation and everything else, but others also have very bad records. I mean, California's a bad record, so, you know, should it be Gavin or should it be somebody else? When I look at San Francisco, what's happened to that incredible city? That was one of the greatest cities in the world just a short while ago.
Am I doing this wrong?
Very sad when you look at it.
I think I'm doing this wrong.
Every city, practically, all the Democrat-run cities. You know, Republican-run cities are doing very nicely because they arrest people when you have crimes. And they don't go after political candidates because they think it's good, you know. I mean, it's been amazing. The poll numbers are the highest I've ever had. But because people understand it.
So can I just ask you, that
Yes.
gets back to my original question. So if the protest didn't work, you got elected anyway. The impeachment didn't work twice, obviously. Indictment is not working. Your poll numbers go up. When they raided Mar-a-Lago in August of last year, your numbers went up. They can indict you 20 times and you're not gonna lose the primary.
Well,
So,
it
like,
makes
the-
it look even more ridiculous. I mean, the 4 indictments, maybe there'll be more. I don't know. These people are crazy.
But they're counterproductive. So if you chart it out, it's an escalation, is what I'm saying. So what's next? After, try to put you in prison for the rest of your life, that's not working. So, like, don't they have to kill you now?
I think the people of our country don't get enough credit for how smart they are. And I'm not sure I would have said this 10 years ago, but they get it. They
Yeah.
really get it. When somebody gets indicted, your poll numbers go down. When somebody gets indicted, you announce, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be leaving to spend time with my family and to fight for the rest of my life on this stuff. But you're out of politics. I got indicted 4 times. All trivia, nonsense, bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's horrible when you look and you look at what they're doing. The boxes hoax. I'm covered by the Presidential Records
So like
Act.
a
I'm
general,
allowed to do exactly that. He's not covered, and he's got 25 times the number of boxes. And he's got them stored in Chinatown. He's got them stored in a flimsy garage underneath his Corvette at Penn. And by the way, at Penn, he gets millions of dollars. China pays this guy millions of dollars. See, I think he's the most corrupt president we've ever had. And he also has the distinction of being the most incompetent. And I believe both. I mean, he's both incompetent and corrupt. So
what if I turn ranged off?
Compromised because China knows so much about him. They know where the money comes from. They know where it is, who paid it, and they probably paid it. Well, they do pay Penn, and he gets $1 million. I think it takes $999,000 because keeps it a little bit under $1 million, like by $1. But he, in many ways, is a Manchurian candidate. We have a Manchurian candidate, and he's afraid to tell Russia to get out of Cuba. He's afraid to tell China to get out of Cuba. He's afraid. China now is building, think of this, China is building military installations in Cuba. The Cuban population of Miami is not too happy because they're never going to be able to go back. And you don't even hear about it. And the worst culprit is the press, the media, because normally, when I first heard that China's building installations in Cuba, and installations means military installations, okay, they said just some communication. They did that on the islands with Japan. They took the island, they started this massive construction, and they told everybody, including the Japanese have to be very careful. They told everybody, but this is a housing development. They're going to build a housing development. And I said, how come the runway is 20,000 feet long? Private jets need 4,000 feet. They don't need 20,000 feet. The big ones need 20,000 feet. They don't even need 20. And I looked at the runway, I said, that's the largest runway ever built, both in width and length, for housing development. There's nobody that has a plane that big that you would have a runway that's
Why
that's
is
for
China
testing.
allowed to conduct imperialism in our hemisphere?
Well, yeah, and it's far beyond Cuba. It's all over South America.
Yeah, in the Caribbean.
So we built a thing called the Panama Canal. We lost 35,000 people to the mosquito, malaria.
Yeah.
We lost 35,000 people building. We lost 35,000 people because of the mosquito. Vicious.
I
They had
turned
to build
ranged
it, and
off.
it was one of the true great wonders of the world.
Still
As
not
he said,
doing
one
a
of the
whole
9
hell of a
wonders
lot.
the world. I was one of the 7 that happened to the world. First 9 wonders of the world. You could make 9 wonders. He would have been better off if he stuck with the 9 and just said, yeah, I think it's 9. But this is one of the true 7 wonders of the world. And you take a look at the Panama Canal. It was such an incredible engineering marvel. We sold it under Jimmy Carter. We sold it to Panama.
Here I am trying to have fun, and the hunters are
The
bugged
following
again.
day, they quadrupled the amount of money the ships had to pay to get across. They didn't lose one ship. And now they've made it much bigger, and now they've widened it. They've doubled it, right? They've more than doubled it. And it's one of the most profitable things. Any time, it's just incredible. We gave it away for $1. China now controls it. They actually control the Panama. They run it.
I'm done.
And we shouldn't let that happen. And we can't.
Well, hold on.
And they'll get out. If I'm
Let's kick
president,
this
they'll
one
get
out.
Because
Let
I
me
had a
just
very
see
good
something.
relationship
Get
with
me,
President Xi, but he respected this country. He respected me.
Get me a different hunter.
And
Maybe one
yeah.
that's like a marksman or
And we
something.
can't let them run the Panama Canal. We built the Panama Canal. Should have never been given to Panama.
I'll take this
Should have
one.
had it. But we gave it for $1. Think of it. They quadrupled. In one day, they lifted the fees, which are, pretty big, for these massive ships to go through. Rather than going around the Cape and through all the tremendous storms, such beauty, when it's beautiful stuff. But you didn't want to get caught in those storms. Those were storms that wiped out the biggest ships. And we go through the Panama Canal, we built it, and we gave it away for $1. Think of that, how stupid are we? We have done the stupidest things in this country. And
Okay,
now
this one's
we have
attacking.
a president that can't put 2 sentences together, can't speak, can't walk, can't talk. I don't think he gets to the starting gate, but these people do miracles. I mean, he ran out of his basement.
Is it just the
And he
Beast
got away with
Mastery
that one
thing?
because of COVID, so he sort of got away with it. They cheated on the election. But you have people that are very smart, but they're fascists and they're radical left lunatics, and they're destroying our country with the all-electric cars and the windmills all over the place, which, by the way, don't work, and they're all, most of them made in China. For the most part, they're made in China. Germany a little bit, but China. But you look at what's happening to our country, even no voter ID. I mean, why don't they want voter ID? There's only one reason they don't want voter ID, because they want to cheat. I mean, who doesn't want, you know, the Democrat convention, the last one, they had voter ID that was this big. It looked like a prison card, this big on their chest. You walked in, they had your picture, your this, your fingerprint, you had everything. The most incredible voter ID I've ever seen. That was to get into the Democrat National Convention. But to get into
Either way, I'm gonna go ahead and restart the server, because I'm gonna
if you buy practically anything now, you
tune
have
these
ID
mobs
on a
down a
card.
little bit.
Credit cards or otherwise. And
But that, don't you think it's racist to have to show your ID?
well, they probably say that. They use anything not to show ID, because voter ID is pretty simple. And we could go back, and we should go back to all paper ballots, voter ID, same-day voting. You know, France did it. France had mail-in ballots, and it was terrible. Anytime you have mail-in ballots, you're going to have massive cheating on your elections. Anytime, but not just the presidential election. Anytime you have...
Isn't that the whole point of them? So
Yeah.
you can
Oh,
cheat?
yeah, sure. It's their whole point. That's their whole point. They want to cheat. Yeah. They have to cheat because their policies are so bad that if they didn't cheat, they couldn't get elected. Who wants open borders? Who wants high taxes? Who wants high interest rates? Who wants to not be able to use a gas stove or have to drive an electric car, which, you know, you have a 4-hour drive, but the car only goes an hour and a half, so you have to charge it. The happiest moment for somebody in an electric car is the first 10 minutes. In other words, you get it charged, and now for 10 minutes. The unhappiest part is the next hour, because you're petrified that you're not going to be found another charger. People, I'm saying, if people, I'm not knocking electric cars, they're fine. They're fine. But if people want to buy a gasoline car or a hybrid, hybrids are pretty good, actually, but they should be allowed to buy. They don't want to do any of this. So right now, California's in a big brownout, because their grid is a disaster. The grid all over the country is sort of a disaster, but the grid in California. And yet, they want to have, in a very short period of time, millions and millions of cars going off that grid, essentially. It doesn't work.
So plug your car into a grid that's failing.
You should be able to buy an electric car. You know, electric cars could be fine if you drive short distances and you want to have, you know, whatever, and you have plug-ins everywhere you go. They could be fine. But you got to have gasoline cars.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Everything. Let people
Did I
buy
restart?
everything. Now
No, I
there's
didn't.
the new thing is your heating systems in the house. They don't want you to have a modern day heating system. They want you to use a heating system that will cost you at least $10,000 to buy and won't work very well. You know, none of the stuff works as well. One of the things I did with EPA is you have states, many states, most of the states have so much water. You know, it comes out of heaven, right? The water pours down and you have it. It's there. It's got to go wherever it goes, into the oceans, whatever. It's not like a big problem. Now, in some states, they have a problem. You know, you have some desert areas and all, and for that, it's okay. But they have sinks where no water comes out.
Is it gonna
You
start?
turn it on, no water comes out. No water comes out of the shower. No water is allowed to go into the washing machine for your dishes or for your clothing or what. And I avoided all of that.
Wait, they have sinks where no water comes
Sure,
out?
you have restrictors. When I say no water, very little water. You want to wash your hands, right?
Yeah.
And you've seen this, and you turn on the sink and it's very little. Or you want to wash your beautiful hair, right? And you're standing under a shower. Then the suds never go. The water comes out very slowly. I'm sure you've seen this. It usually takes place in new hotels and new homes.
Yeah, you take a drill and take the
They have
limiter out.
well, you can, but now they make it so you can't do that so easily. They have a
Hmm?
Did you ever find your second coffee cup?
Second coffee cup.
You have 2 coffee cups. I've only been able to find one. Like 4 days.
Thought I had 4.
You're using 2 currently of the 4. 2 are on the shelf, and 2 are in cycle for you. And now one of them has miraculously gone missing. Right around the same time we got a new car.
Is it in the cooler?
I haven't seen it in the cooler. I know there's one in there right now. I can check. To see if you magically put one in there again.
I never had my coffee cup out in the car. It was either in my satchel or in the cooler.
Then you never brought it in 2 nights ago.
You can go see if there's a coffee cup in my satchel.
I'm going downstairs.
Okay.
Restrictor. It's called a restrictor.
Hey, since you're in here, so you can spank you.
I understand about
Restricts the water from coming out. So I ended all of that, and you have to see these. They let the water come out. You know what people do? They wash their hands like 5 times longer, or in the washing machine they'll press for their, let's say the dishwasher. They'll press it, then they'll press it about 7 or 8 times.
Yeah.
They'll end up using more water, and it still won't be very good. I met with the head of Whirlpool. They were practically going out of business during my administration, and they said to me, from Ohio, incredible, great state, I love Ohio, and they were really doing badly because people were dumping washing machines all over, mostly from South Korea, but also from China. And he was explaining it's just a terrible situation. I said, let me ask you, how's the quality? He says, we're better, but they are good enough quality. But, you know, of course he's going to say that, but, you know, they are better. I said, but they don't allow us. They're dumping these machines, they're cutting us in half. They're killing us. And on top of it, the government won't let us use water in our machines. I mean, he shows me like a quarter of a bottle of water. That's supposed to be washing clothing. And I freed it all up, and I put tariffs on these countries that were selling and the machines coming into the country. And that company went from all the washing machine companies, they make washing machines, they make dryers, they make all of the different machines that do this kind of work, including dishwashers. And they went from a disaster area to just thriving.
But can I ask,
they
why,
love me in that part of Ohio.
Well, I bet they do, but why should EPA, no one at EPA was elected by anybody,
Yeah.
why do they have the power to decide how much water your washing machine uses? Shouldn't Congress in a democracy get to vote on that?
Yeah, you could say that. They do things that are not very...
So how do you, that's my question, how do you, if you get elected again, back to Washington, how do you keep the agencies under control? How do you keep FBI and CIA specifically under control?
The way you do it, like I fired Comey, that was a big deal. You know, a lot of people said, and I fired him very early. Somebody said, oh, I wish you would have fired him. There's a real question about firing him. Anyway, you understand, because you know, when they have a 10-year term, there is a question. I fired Comey, that was a great thing. If I didn't fire Comey,
not yet.
maybe I wouldn't be talking to you, or I'd be talking to you about real estate or something else other than politics, right? That was a coup, in my opinion. That was a very sick deal. That was the insurance policy. You remember the insurance policy? Oh, she's going to win, darling. She's going to win. But just in case she doesn't, we have an insurance policy. An insurance policy is what they were doing. And we caught them with that. That was a very
Okay, the hunter's not
tweet,
attacking
or
again.
whatever it was, text. It was a big deal. That was a big deal. The insurance policy. She's going to win 100 million to 1. That's not good odds. At least they gave me 1, right? 100 million to 1. But just in case she doesn't win, we have an insurance policy. Everybody said, that's strange. That's strange. But we caught all of that because I fired Comey. Because when I fired Comey, it was like throwing a rock into a hornet's nest, into a nest of bees, and the place went crazy.
So when you were president, are you confident that you knew everything, say, CIA was doing around the world?
No, I'm not. It's a very interesting group of people. I had very good relationships, I thought, but I was a little surprised when I got out that, you know, things go on. Look, it's...
What were you surprised by?
I was surprised. I think it's some of the people. I was surprised that there was...
I'm gonna lower them down again.
I had a group of people.
The mobs.
We killed many, using the CIA, I have to say this, very bad actors. We were very good at it. You look at Soleimani, you look at al-Baghdadi, bigger than Osama bin Laden. I mean, Osama bin Laden, but al-Baghdadi did ISIS, and he was rebuilding ISIS very strongly.
And that was the CIA that did that?
That was really us that did that.
Yeah.
That was really us that did that. And Soleimani was us that did that, not so much CIA. But we did some very good work with the CIA. What I started, you know, when I looked at the 51 intelligence agents, saying that that was the laptop from hell was Russia disinformation. When I took a look at that, I said, that's a horrible thing. They knew it wasn't. They knew it was not. And by the way, you're talking about cheating on the election? McLaughlin and Fabrizio, great pollsters, they said a thing like that plus other things meant anywhere from 10 to 17% of the vote would change.
Whatever happened to Mike Pence? You've always been nice to Pence. I've never heard you criticize Pence. You've defended him in public many, many times. He's out there attacking you. What is that?
So Mike wants to run for president. You got to understand, in my opinion, Mike Pence had the absolute right to send the votes back to the legislatures. The Democrats and everybody said, you don't have the right. In other words, what I said, is he a human conveyor belt? You mean if he finds fraud in Pennsylvania, in Georgia, in any of these states, Arizona, he has to send them to Mitch McConnell, right? That's right, sir. Well, if he finds fraud, he has to? Yes, sir. I said, so he's a conveyor belt. Boom, put him in. I said, I don't agree with that. And we had some lawyers, not all, we had some lawyers that said, no, you do have the right to send them back to the legislatures to be rechecked. Because if you looked at what went on in Wisconsin, who, by the way, now agree with me, Wisconsin has been virtually, other than the fact they're not allowed to do anything statutorily, but Wisconsin has been, I mean, what they found.
I'm just making sure this is right. I got numbers
Wisconsin.
everywhere.
But Mike Pence had the right, in my opinion, to send him back.
Do you ever talk to him now?
No, I haven't spoken to him in a long time. I was very disappointed in him. I didn't want to do what Thomas Jefferson did. Thomas Jefferson, it was Georgia. And it was, hear ye, hear ye, the great state of Georgia is not capable or allowed to tabulate their votes. And Thomas Jefferson, who was the vice president, said, is Georgia sure that they cannot tabulate their votes? Georgia is sure. He didn't send it back and have them redo it. He said, we will keep the votes of the great state of Georgia for Thomas Jefferson and his president. I didn't ask him for that. Could have done that too, but I didn't. I thought that would be turmoil. I asked him to send him back to his legislature, to the legislatures, you know, in Wisconsin, let's say.
But why didn't he? I mean, you'd worked together for 4 years. You're the president. He's VP. You say you're aligned on everything.
I think he got very bad advice. I really do. Now, let me tell you what happened. I sat there with a few people. I think his lawyer was in the room too. His lawyer was very much against it. There were other lawyers that felt you could do it. It was one of those things that you probably, I think you could have done.
I want to at least do one of these quests before I get off
if you
for
see
the night.
fraud or if you see problems. But it's very interesting. So
But the hunter being
after the election was
like
over,
randomly not
the
attacking is
Rhinos
bothering
got
me.
together with the Democrats, and they redid the election, so you couldn't do it anymore. So then I called the people. I said, so in other words, you're saying I was right. You could do it. Yes, you could do it. In other words, they took the Voting Act and they redid it so the vice president no longer has the power to do what I said he could do. So when that happened, I said, wow. So, and you know, you'd look some of these Democrats in the eye and they'd say, he has absolutely no right to do it. And immediately after the election, they met rhinos, could name them all, and Democrats, and they approved legislation that takes away the right of the vice president to do it. So I said, so you're saying I was right. The vice president did have the right to do it, and they said, yes, he did.
So if you're saying they stole it from you last time, why wouldn't they do the same this time?
Oh, well, they'll try. They're going to be trying, yeah. But, and not only that. Look, DeSantis is out. I think he's done. So he was at a lot of these people who figured him out. He's dead. But if somebody else got in, other than me, they'll go at him just as viciously as they do. These people are sick, and they will go after him. And a lot of people say they won't be able to hold up. I do get credit for holding up quite well. I mean,
How do you do that? How do you get indicted, you know, every week in state sheriff?
I think it's a lot easier because I'm so high in the polls, because it means the people get it. The people see it's a fraud. The people see it. Like this horrible district attorney from just a little while ago, from essentially Atlanta. It's what we got. She said, basically, I don't have any right.
This is
to
pretty
challenge
balanced
an
right now, I
election. Well,
think.
what about Stacey Abrams? What about Hillary Clinton? What about all of these
Except the
Democrats that are
Hunters.
still challenging my election? The same people that are saying he's
Still being
challenging an
random.
election challenged my election.
I'm gonna do a
And
bot
they did it with
playthrough like I've
slates,
been
they did
wanting
it
to
with
do
all
too.
sorts of things.
Where I just let the bot control my character. I'm gonna do that at some
But
point.
basically, they're suing me and they're saying you don't have any right to challenge it. If you challenge
And
an
if their
election,
devs
we're gonna
still watch my
we
stream
gotta
every
do
now
it.
and again, they'll find out
So
just how
what
bad their bots
they're
are.
doing is they've weaponized, and don't kid yourself, the DOJ and Biden and the whole group, they're watching all of this stuff.
See, they used to be, like, the bots in this used to be really good at what they could do. Like, really good. But then they would go through, like, floors and shit, and ceilings, and they would aggro mobs from, like, the boss room randomly, somehow. And it wasn't really a whole lot of fun. And they would crash the server. But now they can do a lot of things. They don't crash the server really anymore. They don't aggro mobs randomly anymore. But they just can't seem to play their class very well. What's this guy doing? Oh, he finally resummoned a pet. I was out of range of my healer. Let me get them all in here. Not being healed. Awkward. Is my healer out of mana? Who was my healer? Oh. Yeah, it kind of was out of mana, huh? I guess that's fair. I think I'm gonna leave it where it is because I kind of want to make certain items more rewarding. I have a hard time getting in here though.
They love the local stuff. You know, the DA in Manhattan. Not only that, they put one of the DOJ top people into the Manhattan DA's office to run things. They don't even have a case against me. It's not even a case. Everyone says, even the Democrats say, you can't bring these cases. You have no case. The Attorney General or the District Attorney, Fannie Willis, in Atlanta, she's getting killed. Basically, she's saying Trump doesn't have the right to to criticize an election. But you've been around long enough now. You've seen many elections criticized. I mean, Hillary Clinton goes crazy. Every time she talks, she says, he's not the president. Jimmy Carter said, he's not the president. Well, I am the president. Hillary Clinton called me, by the way, at 3:02 in the morning to congratulate me the night of the election.
Did her voice crack?
Well, her voice was, it's very different, I will say. I won't get into that. But
What do you mean?
her voice was very different. Don't forget, they were all celebrating at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I came home and I said, I think we won. I felt we won because the rallies are so big. We'd go to Wisconsin, and we'd go to Georgia. We'd go to different states. In Michigan, we'd have rallies. In Pennsylvania, we had 58,000 people in Butler. And I said, how are we losing this? How do you have a rally where you have from 50 to 100,000 people, many of them? I did 7 a day for a couple of days. That's a lot. That's a lot. These are big rallies too. And I didn't hold back. I didn't say, let's make them let's do abbreviations, right? But they challenged the stuff.
Yeah.
Hillary called me up and conceded. Now the word is that
I thought this
Obama
is where I
said you
put
have
it.
to do that. But she called up and totally conceded. But now, every time you see her on television, she's saying she's challenging the election.
Do you think?
So that would mean that she should be indicted, but that would mean also
hold
that
on.
Stacey Abrams in Georgia should be indicted, because she still thinks she won the election for governor. She still thinks that. She's never recanted. And
Do you think Stacey Abrams will be indicted for that?
No, of course not. She won't be. The Democrats don't get indicted for things like that. They don't get impeached. No, it's a different thing. With that being said,
Yes.
I had great support when they did impeachment hoax #1 and impeachment hoax #2. Jim Jordan, the House was fantastic. And actually the Senate was very good for me, other than, Mitch McConnell. I think it's too bad I endorsed him. He was begging, he was going to lose that race, and I endorsed him, and he ended up winning the race because of my endorsement. He was down, he was going to lose to Amy McGrath. She was $90 million in cash, all set to go. She was leading by 3. He was going down. I did him a favor, and then 3-4 months later, he really wanted to impeach me. He's a bad guy. But if you look at what's going on politically, it's so interesting. The level of loyalty is different in politics than it is in normal life, I will say. With that being said, I've had great loyalty also. But the House was fantastic. The Senate was very good. They overrode Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, in my opinion, was trying to get senators to impeach me, especially for the second one. And on the first one, he acted very, very slow. He should have gone much faster. But Mitch McConnell wanted to, and the senators went up to him, guys that are subservient to him because he gives money. He gives them money. He gives them a lot of money. He raises some money and he gives it to them, and therefore they do what he said. That's the only form of leadership he's got.
So last question, if you're elected president again, what's your number one priority? When you ran last time, you said, I will build a wall. This time, your bottom line top promise to the country.
So you can do numerous things at the same time.
Of course.
But let's say number one is a border, and taking hundreds of thousands of criminals that have been allowed into our country and getting them out and bringing them back to their country, Guatemala. By the way, not only the 4 countries
There's
that we
not even an in here,
neighbors,
though. Or-
all over the world.
No, there
Last
is. It's over here.
month, we had 149 countries represented. Think of it. We had 149 countries represented, Tucker, from places
I put
many
that
people never even
object
heard of,
here.
coming
I
into
know I
our
did.
country. And they're coming in from mental institutions, and they're coming in from prisons. They're emptying out their prisons all over South America. They're emptying out their mental institutions.
Are the
Terrorists
deeds
are
over here
pouring
still?
into our country. We have no idea. I had the strongest border in the history of our country, and I built almost 500 miles
Yeah,
of
the
wall.
deeds are still
They
over
like to
here.
say, oh, was it less? No.
I don't
built
get it.
500 miles. In fact, if you check
Unless a
with the
bot looted it, that's a
authorities on the
possibility,
border,
but
we
it should
built
respawn,
almost
shouldn't
500
it?
miles of wall, and I had another 200 that I was going to build. It's like water; it seeks, and we're going to build another 200. We built it; it was all set to go. All they had to do was install it. It would have taken 3 weeks, and that's when I found out. I said, I think these people actually want open borders. The first thing I would do would be I would seal up the border good and tight, except for people that want to come in legally.
Do you think we're moving towards civil war?
There's tremendous passion and there's tremendous love. January 6th was a very interesting day because they don't report it properly. I believe it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before, and you know some of the crowds I've spoken before. And like July 4th on the mall, I think they had 1 million people there. But I think that the biggest crowd I've ever spoken before.
I'm like
was on
positive that
January
I
6th,
put
and
one
people
right
that were in
here.
that crowd, a very, very small
Can't think of where else I
group
would
of
have
people,
put
and we
it.
said patriotically and peacefully and patriotically, right? Nobody ever says that. Go peacefully and patriotically. But people that were in that crowd that day, very small group of people, went down there, and then there are a lot of scenarios that we can talk about. But people in that crowd said it was the most beautiful day they've ever experienced. There was love in that crowd. There was love and unity. I have never seen such spirit and such passion and such love. And I've also never seen simultaneously and from the same people such hatred
It's already being
of what
used.
they've done to our country.
So do you think it's possible that there's open conflict? We seem to be moving towards something.
I don't know because I don't know what it, I can say this. There's a level of passion that I've never seen. There's a level of hatred that I've never seen, and that's probably a bad combination.
Donald Trump, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Thank you.
That is a bad combination, by the way.
Bad combination. Thank you.
I think it's because I'm in combat. That's probably the issue. Let me try again here.
I can't loot that right now.
You know what? How do I...
I can't loot that right now.
Go object... near. There's 2 of them here.
I can't loot that right now.
See, I knew I put another one here. It's telling me it's not
I
found.
can't loot that right now.
What if I'm a GM?
I can't loot that right now.
can't spell right now.
I can't loot that right now.
Well, for the sake of time, I'm just gonna complete this. If I ever do it again, I'm just gonna put it on a mob. I'm gonna have to wipe the database again. Oh, my inventory's full. I wonder if that has something to do with it.
I can't loot that right now.
Oh. I'm pretty sure that dude is in Blasted Lands? No. I forget what the place is called. Oh no, they're at the church. Okay. If I hearth, where am I gonna hearth to? Perfect.
Interesting.
Ooh. I like that.
Inventory is full.
Off and away.
I guess I'll go fight the archivist too. Real quick. Maybe. Where's the flight path? Oh, it's probably over here.
How are you? Safe travel.
I'm just gonna ride up in there. I keep forgetting I have these mana auras, or mana oils. Should probably use them. That explains why I'm running out of mana so much, but when I was doing raids or in dungeons, I wasn't. See how this fight goes too. I'm curious. I shouldn't have did all the quests at once. I should just edit one quest at a time, essentially. So I'm only ever gonna go looking for these guys if I have a quest for them. Though I'm not sure if there's quests for every boss in the game or not. Is there a quest for the Twin Emperors? Is there a quest for Princess What's-Her-Cunt? Is there a quest for drawing a blank. The bone guy under, is it Stratholme? There's a bone guy. Oh, give me a break. This isn't even fair. Almost died. We checked on the burger. Probably done now.
So you don't have any more refried beans, so am I just doing the 4 tacos or am I still doing 5?
What, are you gonna put more beef in each one, is what you're saying? Give me 5. Makes it feel bigger. Maybe put in more onions or something, I don't know. Tomatoes.
On the bright side, my ankles aren't swollen anymore. See, this is what they're supposed to look like.
It was honestly probably from walking so much is what it was.
I should be able to see the veins in my ankles. They're so swollen that way. Yeah, when I stand, you see how I can see the veins? Yeah, I couldn't see them.
Actually, I'm thinking the archivist might be over there. I don't remember now. Oh, that's an elite. Good, I wanted everybody to attack me to begin with.
We need to order more of this.
Oh, okay. If that horde wasn't there, we would have been fine. That, and I'm pretty sure the bots aren't attacking like they should be. I'm just gonna call it. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I may or may not continue this because the bots seem pretty shit right now. I probably will continue, but I don't know if I'm bouncing back and forth between a lot of games right now. Obviously, I don't have a whole lot of time, so I just kind of play whatever I feel like playing. So, toodles.